So, this is going to be a really short podcast tonight. This is In the Pursuit of Joy. I am on a cruise ship right now on our way to Aruba for 8 days, and I want to bring you along with me. I hope that you join me for my trip. This is my birthday week, by the way. Happy birthday to me. I was able to be born and live on Earth, so I get to play. And I'm just not getting the hang of it. I hope this helps you also get the hang of life, where your journey is much more enjoyable, whatever it is that you're doing. Thank you for joining me this evening. Like I said, it's going to be very short. I should have a video of this podcast. My take on the same thing. I'm going to talk to you on the audio, but it's going to be a short video on my YouTube channel, In the Pursuit of Joy podcast, on the road. If you have not signed up for it yet, I'll appreciate it. Just look me up, and it's the same name of this podcast. And I want to bring folks along. Those of you who have been listening, thank you for sticking around. And if you're new here, yes, this podcast is all about the pursuit of joy by navigating through life's troubles. And troubles meaning the challenges that we face every day on a physical plane, but also on a mental phase of our lives, where we put ourselves, we talk ourselves in and out of trouble, or in and out of not doing things, or in and out of not pursuing the things we want. And I want to share a very, very interesting and relatable anecdote with you. I was having brunch. So today's Sunday. So naturally, I'm uploading this episode sometime Sunday. Hopefully the Wi-Fi allows me to do that without waiting 2 hours for it to upload. I have Wi-Fi here, but it can be challenging not to see. That's not the theme for this, not the topic for tonight's episode, but I'll do the best I can. I was having brunch, and this lady and her husband sat next to me, and we got to talking, and she got to tell me about what she did when she was younger. She was a professor of art at a state university. And I asked her some follow-up questions about what kind of art she specialized in and all that, and she said, well, this was basically the 1960s, so back then it wasn't like they had the computers, that's graphics and things like that. Art was really manual crafts, and also involved. I asked her if she did any painting. She said yes, she taught painting, something that I've done on and off for the past 20 years. And she for some reason she started talking about one of her students, but she said it with kind of an attitude of, this guy really he's not doing well. This what she was trying to imply, but she wasn't saying that. She was only saying that she would tell her student, she would ask him actually, why was he painting the painting that he was working on at one point. And it was a painting. It was a scene of a tropical island. The shiny the sun and the surf and palm trees. I guess it's you can. I'm sure you can picture it in your mind. Is what you would envision if you thought of a tropical island. And she admonished him for. She asked him, first of all, have you ever been to a place like that before? And then he said, no, I never have. And she kind of scolded him a little bit about, why don't you try painting something you know? Kind of, basically stay in your lane, which is, I didn't go hard on this because I come from an artistic background as well. Trumping somebody else's creativity, it's kind of not a very nice thing, but some people are ready to take somebody else down in a hurry, and the guy went ahead and painted the scene anyway. So I don't know how it came out. Maybe she didn't like his style. She didn't go into that kind of detail. I didn't press on account I was getting my food, and I really wanted to wrap up the conversation quickly enough. But she started talking to me first of all. I was minding my food. I was drinking coffee, and then she came at me with what do you do? Where do you come from? And all that sort of thing. It happens on cruise ships a lot. And so I told her about me a little bit, and she volunteered this information. I have through no elicitation from me at all, and I found it to be kind of a wake up call. So, two things I discussed about dissatisfaction before, and I think it's going to kind of continue this theme of dissatisfaction about change. Enabling us to undertake change, to actually act on changing, because first of all, for her to tell a student that he needed to express himself in a way that he knew already versus exploring something new. Perhaps it was the fact of the time, which is pretty amazing because it's a female professor teaching at a university in the 1960s. So for the most part, I would think that there's a factor of discrimination in women. There's some careers that a lot of careers were close to women, first of all. And second, those that were open, they were still open, but they were still dominated by the male side of the house. So for an art instructor to express that, I found it rather shocking. I don't want to use another harsh word, but she seems nice enough. But the anecdote she was sharing with me was really a bit astounding. So I removed my reading glasses because I was just, like I said, I was drinking coffee, minding my meal, and I put down my glasses and I looked at her and I told her Vincent van Gogh was known to have said that before he painted a painting, he saw it in his mind. So first he created it in his mind, then he brought it to fruition on the physical plane. It came from the mind. This is Vincent van Gogh. Clearly, she's not going to tell someone like Vincent van Gogh, had he not ended his life the way he did, why don't you paint what you know? And it goes to a lot of attitudes about stay in your lane, or self-limiting beliefs. Something if she believed that you can only experience what you know, but then I would have to throw it back at her. How do you know what you're experiencing is not what you already know? Or vice versa. You have to experience to know. You have to actually take the step. And so she became quiet for a moment. And another moment went by. I just waited patiently for her to say something clever. And I just jumped in and said, look, I know this is a stretch, maybe an intellectual stretch for you. But the guy, years later, she explained, came back and told her, look where I've been. And he showed her a photograph of a place that pretty much matched the painting he had created in her class. The one she obviously didn't care for. Whatever the problem was, could be a stylistic or the delivery of the painting, whatever, the technique. So there's something about it she didn't like. But she did not say what it was. She just told him to just paint what you know. Art really isn't about making sure that you mind corners or, knowing color theory helps a lot if you want to recreate something to certain specification. But then when you think about it, art could be anything, whatever it is. You're just expressing. It doesn't have to win an award. It doesn't have to be approved by others. I mean, if you're under instruction, I'm sure there was something he was not doing that she thought was not something she was teaching, or he's not executing properly. Whatever her problem was, I think that was harshly judged more on the context of what he was painting versus the technique or whatever her problem actually was. Why would anyone tell someone who's expressing themselves freely in their own way about something they desire? He clearly desired finding himself on a sunny beach and being on the sand and, like I described before. he painted it after he saw it in his mind. He may have not gone to a place like that right away, but he did eventually in the future. He took the actionable steps to get himself to where to be inside of his painting. I don't want to break anyone's brain. I think I broke her brain because she never came back and gave me more information. I did not press beyond that, but it was very revealing. Limited thinking. It's either we do it ourselves or somebody else feeds it to us, and then we catch it. Our brains have already been through this topic before. It catches it. It's like it's a trap. It's a big trap. It catches that comment or that sentiment, and then it makes it into something that suddenly we assume was part of us in the first place. And the past week, I explained that in my video. My video is probably much shorter on YouTube than this podcast, which is, I'm going to wrap up here shortly. Just to leave you something to think about. And I know I'm on a cruise ship and it's my birthday week and I just wanted to get away, but I was starting to go through the motions of operating on a very high positive vibration or frequency to something's happening very abruptly. Then when they hit, I was like the previous life-changing event that happened a few months ago. And happened and hit, and I just said, okay. I did not panic, but I also kind of started to doubt in the back of my mind a little bit whether I was going to even survive. And that bothered me because I went from one set of dissatisfaction points into a whole new set of the factors that I found to be, causing dissatisfaction in my life. And I just wanted to share that with you. If you've gone through something similar, when you just think that you're solving one issue, it could be you overcame a challenge of some sort at work or in your studies or a relationship, or it's financial, and then you thought you were in control, and suddenly external factors pushed you to deviate from your path. And the idea is not to fight the external factors, it is to find that one lane of thought and get back on it and then manage what's going on the outside. So basically I'm saying it's I had a little bit of throwing caution to the wind. I went through a moment where I was feeling trapped and a little bit angry and very dissatisfied, and I warned myself, do not be mean to me. And I'd like to leave you tonight with that same thought. Whatever happens in your life that you made a mistake or miscalculated on anything, don't be like the art lady. You should experience the difficulty. You should go ahead and understand and ride out that wave you got caught in, and you should graciously and gracefully apply what you're learning, hopefully from me and other people who are already aware that whatever goes on in your mind, if it's calm and if it's confident and it's aware of what needs to be done to seek that joy and that happiness that I'm always talking about and that fulfillment, then you're ready to take action, and you just simply adjust, and then you fall where you need to go. I'm still shocked what she said, but not too shocked. Like I said, watch out what you say to yourself, be kind to yourself, and whatever other people tell you, if it doesn't match that level of kindness and consideration that you're giving yourselves now, then walk away or simply tune it out. If it's a family member or a friend, you can tell them what it does to you, or you can simply just let it pass. A comment doesn't have to be part of you permanently. You should be able to vet what information goes into your mind before it takes up space and before it starts squatting on your mind rent free. So don't let that happen to you. Don't be like that lady. I'm going to let you go. I'm sure you have things to do this evening. I want to thank you again for tuning in to this podcast. I appreciate you beyond words, and I hope that whatever I'm putting out here into the universe, that you catch some of it, and it is of benefit to you. Then that's even better. I'll be back on my normal podcast formatting the following Monday. So today is May 15th, 15th Sunday, and you will be listening hopefully tomorrow, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. This is the In the Pursuit of Joy podcast. Don't forget to go to YouTube just to see me in my cabin. It's not a big deal. I have uploaded some videos. They're taking forever and ever to upload, just from my first day on the cruise. And I hope you find them enjoyable. And I'm gonna have a lot of more to upload at the end of the cruise when I have my computer back. I'm only operating with a phone, so I'm gonna make do with what I got. I want to wish you a good night, and lots of rest and sweet dreams. And I will catch you the following Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, in the Pursuit of Joy podcast. Thank you for listening. Good night.